Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me for today's discussion on our value playbook with TBSC's Health Check, featuring our products Smarter SaaS and Smarter Secure. So let me just go ahead and describe exactly what we're going to be reviewing today. Essentially, the value playbook is just a list of ways you can add value-added services to your end users using Smarter SaaS and Smarter Secure. So I will go ahead and review that with you today, as well as easy tips and tricks on how to do the initial health check, as well as converting the health check into a full production service. So this document is, let me get my screen here and scroll down. This document is available on our partner Yammer group, and it is also available on our partner Dropbox. So you're more than welcome to log on to these areas and download the playbook, or you can get in contact with me, info@businesssoftwarecenter.com, and I can certainly send you a copy of this playbook. We have two versions. We have the version I'm looking at right now, which is it's the PowerPoint version, so it's the condensed version. And then within the PowerPoint version, if you click on the link, it takes you to the full version of the playbook. So I will be showing both of those to you today. Moving on, we do have an outline. So this is just reviewing everything I've kind of stated before. We'll review value-added services, best practices in switching clients from health check to managed service. And then finally, we can discuss the value plays that you can access with the health checks with Smarter SaaS and Smarter Secure. So keep in mind, some of our partners do offer Smarter SaaS, some of them offer Smarter Secure, and some of them offer a blend of both. So if you're interested, say for instance, you're only on Smarter SaaS and you're interested in Smarter Secure, please do get in contact with us. We can certainly help you get trained, your sales training and everything for Smarter Secure. That way you can offer both. So with the sales process, it's pretty much the same for both health check services. You're going to have the initial consultation with your end user, see exactly what's going on with them, share the health check with them, and see exactly what's going on with them, offer them a proposal, do recommendations. Obviously, you'll have the onboarding as well. You'll follow up with the recommendations that you've suggested, and then you can provide ongoing support if this is a production service. Now, if this is a one-off service, you might not offer the ongoing support, but like I said, it really depends on your end user customers and what they need, and so you can really tailor make the Smarter SaaS or Smarter Secure to better fit your customers. So switching your clients from their free health check to managed service is pretty easy, as long as you are able to demonstrate the value of the free health check. So we noticed with a lot of our partner companies that maybe they'll do the free health check, but not necessarily show their end user clients the report that's generated. And I highly advise that once you get access to that report that we create for you, it's highly important to actually share it with the end user client and give them a visual of what's going on. Now, we do two different reports. We do the Smarter Secure report, which goes into in-depth detail about what they can do to improve their Microsoft Secure score. And then we do the Smarter SaaS, which gives in-depth reporting on ways to optimize their Microsoft licenses and, of course, save money in the long run. And so if you're able to schedule that time with your clients and show them these reports, it can better your chances of switching your clients from the health check to the managed service. So of course you want to discuss the benefits of the managed services and then provide a proposal. And so within this proposal, ensure that you're covering all of the value adds that your customer needs in order to have continued success onwards with using this product. You'll onboard the client, you'll implement the managed service, and then you'll provide ongoing support, because obviously this is a managed service. It could be a year long, could be 3 years long, however long the contract is between you and your client. And so you will want to implement ongoing support, whether that's through you or you want to continue ongoing support with TBSC and us doing the health check reports and all that for you. That's something we would have to discuss together. So The point of value-added services, especially with Smarter SaaS for Microsoft, is to help improve customer satisfaction, increase the revenue for your business, help build your enterprise or grow your cloud business. It helps identify upselling opportunities, and it helps differentiate you from competitors. And it's because this report is pretty intricate when it comes to showing you what users on what licenses, recommendations on whether to upgrade or downgrade their licenses or harvest their license. It even goes into compliance. It goes into SharePoint sprawl. There's a lot to look over with this report. And so depending on our partnership and depending on what your area of focus is, you can really differentiate yourself from other competitors and increase your value by targeting specifically what each end user client needs. And of course, the only way that we would advise doing a powerful way of doing this is to actually review the reports that we send out. Like I said, some of our partners don't actively look at these reports, and it's a shame because there is a lot of value within them. So best practices for growing your cloud business, primarily targeting the right audience. This is marketing 101. Best practice for growing your cloud business is definitely targeting the correct right audience. Now, we do have an audience report on our partner Dropbox and our partner Yammer group. So if you ever need assistance on what our audiences might be the best for you, you can always download that report or get in touch with me and I can supply the report for you. And that way you can understand who the audience is and what might work best for your business. You can leverage your existing network of current end user clients. And by doing that, you can see what they're currently using and then offer Smarter SaaS or Smarter Secure as a option for managed service. So say, for instance, your client is already buying Microsoft 365 licenses through you. You can always upsell them Smarter SaaS or Smarter Secure in order to provide the managed service. You can provide them the value up front. So you can show them the offerings that you have and then provide it for them. Of course, like I mentioned, you can always customize the offering. This is something that can definitely make you stand out in the competitive market just by offering different focuses. So for instance, if you noticed that the one company you're working for, your end user client, is having a hard time keeping track of joiners, movers, leavers, you can customize the value adds to specifically target that situation and help them better manage their JML process. Now, you need to communicate effectively with your end user clients. And so that means just keeping them in the loop with everything. So if you're the one providing them these reports, please ensure you actually send them these reports and maybe have some follow-up meetings just to show that you understand where they're currently at, you understand their current business goals, and you can help them efficiently and effectively get to where they want to go. And you want to continuously improve your services. And so that's what we like here at Business Software Center is we like to take our partner feedback and implement it into our sales strategy, our product development, anything like that. So if there's any way that you can see the product improving, by all means, we have a feedback form you can fill out, or you can just email me privately, and we can certainly help with improving the products and the services that we have on offer. So as far as value adds for the TBSC Health Check, the value playbook goes over a list of different value adds that we can provide. So the first one that we can offer is the reharvesting. And so, like I said, this is just a snapshot version. If you select this link in the corner, if you've noticed, there's links on every single one of these slides. You select the link and it opens up into the actual full value playbook. And so you can see here, it says the reharvesting problem solution. It dives into the method, it dives into the measures, and then it provides screenshots to kind of help showcase exactly where you can find this information. So we can go ahead and just review PowerPoint presentation, the condensed version. So with reharvesting, the problem often is unused subscriptions are a significant problem because they result in unnecessary costs and potential security risks. So many companies continue to pay for subscriptions they no longer use, which can add to a significant expense. And unused subscriptions can also pose a security risk as they represent an unnecessary attack surface that hackers can exploit. So the solution to this problem would be to address the unused subscriptions with the Business Software Center using the health checks with Smarter SaaS and Smarter Secure. This also helps companies recycle unused subscriptions, specifically a part of the joiners, movers, leavers process. And so by identifying and reclaiming unused subscriptions, companies can reduce costs and mitigate security risks. So if you are here and you're on this PowerPoint presentation, like I said, you just click this link at the bottom and it will open up the full value playbook. And so it just reviews in more detail exactly what I've went over. What is it reharvesting? What is the problem? What is the solution? But then it dives into methods and measures. And so the key steps in the Smarter SaaS health check reharvesting process include extracting a list of subscriptions that have been inactive, comparing the list of inactive subscriptions to employee records, contacting former employees and managers to verify if their subscriptions are still required. Now, I mean, you might not want to do that. It's really up to you. These are just some methods that you can use in order to ensure that the reharvesting data aligns with the current HR company data, and reclaim any subscriptions that are no longer required and reallocate them to other employees or departments as needed. So essentially with these methods, it's helping you understand exactly where the company is at. Say, for instance, you've noticed that they had a leaver and the leaver left 6 months ago, and yet they still have access to Microsoft 365. So that means they still have access to SharePoint, Teams, and a lot of company data that maybe they don't want out there, which increases security risks because this employee no longer is working for them. And so they have open access to this data that they really shouldn't be having access to. And so if you implement these methods, you can help tighten up the security as well as reharvest and reallocate that license to maybe somebody else. Now with measurements, the goal of Smarter SaaS Health Check is to reduce the number of unused subscriptions to 0 or near 0. To measure the progress towards the goal, companies can track the number of inactive subscriptions identified, etc. And regular review of subscriptions usage can help companies identify any new subscriptions that are no longer needed to ensure cost and security risks are minimized over time. So this is just, once again, different examples of measures that can be seen within the reharvesting aspect. And so a good way of getting the measures is, even though the health check lasts for only 1 month, you can get additional measurements if you switch them onto a production service and maybe do a monthly review with them, especially if it's a larger company that often has maybe a high turnover, or maybe they have a lot of contracted employees that kind of come and go. This would be your best bet for joiners, movers, leavers, is maybe getting them on a production service. So then I've also supplied some screenshots from Smarter SaaS that can showcase the reharvesting. So if you're already either on health check or production service, you're familiar with what our dashboard looks like. But essentially what you do is you log on to Smarter SaaS and you can see the reharvesting button, and then select that, and it opens up into more details as to who the end user is, what products they're using, when their last use date was, and whether or not they would be a good candidate for reharvesting. And now you can always adjust the time slots as well. I said I think 60 days, but you can always do past 30 days, past 90 days, the past 180 days. You and your end user client can determine how long ago you want to check this data to ensure any potential leavers still have access or anything like that. And so I know that we don't have a lot of time to go over the whole value playbook, but I will just go over the condensed version from here on out. But like I said, if you want to see the more detailed version of the value playbook, I would suggest selecting the Dropbox link that we have in the corner of each one of the slides here. And so the next value add for our playbook is training and app uses optimization. And so the problem usually consists of unused subscriptions, and that could mean cost or even security risks. And so one of the issues might be maybe the team simply isn't trained on using these apps within Microsoft 365. Maybe they don't even know that they have this option. So an example would be they have SharePoint or they have OneDrive to upload all their documents, and yet they're still storing everything on their external hard drive. What happens if they leave their hard drive on a train or on a plane or somewhere, and it gives somebody else full access to the company data, right? And so you ask them exactly like, why were they doing this? And they were just blissfully unaware that they had these cloud storage options because they never really were fully trained on Microsoft 365. And so one way we can offer a solution to that is we can see who's using what, and we can ask our partners or our end user clients, okay, well, why exactly is John not using OneDrive? And so it might take a little bit of investigative work to determine, oh, well, he just simply didn't know that was part of the Microsoft subscription, and it's just a matter of training. And so we do partner with Bigger Brains to provide additional training with Microsoft 365. It's a really easy training tool that downloads directly through the Teams app because it's just an app you use within Microsoft Teams. And so it offers training on everything within Microsoft 365. So if you need to target an employee, you can always offer something like that to them. So unused subscriptions can lead to wasted resources and increase the risk of data breaches, which I've previously mentioned with my example. And this may also result in lower productivity and frustration. So for instance, if your one employee maybe doesn't know how to use Microsoft Teams, maybe they're missing important and vital information that's being shared within your organization simply because they don't have Teams downloaded on their computer, or they're just not accessing it through the cloud because they have no idea what Teams is. And I understand within this day and age, and especially with remote working, that you would think that a lot of your employees would be pretty much up to speed with what's going on, but unfortunately, it's not the way it is, especially with I would say anybody who's new within the business. It's really important to get them up to speed and to really train them on what's on offer. And I would say, especially maybe those who are students as well, because students actually, even though a lot of universities offer Microsoft Teams to students because they provide the Microsoft 365 subscriptions, a lot of these universities don't even use Teams to do their remote work. Sometimes they'll use Zoom, or sometimes they'll use internal things like Blackboard, for instance, to do their lecturing. So like I said, it might seem like something basic to us because we're in the technology sector, but you'd be surprised at how many people aren't aware of what comes on offer with Microsoft 365. So I would say maybe with your onboarding documents, it'd be good to have these trainings. But besides that, we can track and see who's using what. And if you need to do refresher courses, we can offer that for you. So moving on to managed services. So some of our partner companies are interested in providing managed services and they're not really sure where to start. And so one way we can help you is with the conversion of the health check to the production service. And so the problem with managed services is organizations often struggle with managing their IT infrastructure. That means ensuring security, compliance, and with the increase of the complexity of the cloud, it might be hard for end users to really track and monitor this, especially if they're doing it in a manual way. So what Smarter SaaS and Smarter Secure can do is automate these processes and really free up a lot of time, whether that's the goal of ensuring that compliance is being met, or cost savings are being met, or joiners, movers, leavers process is being secure. It really depends on the company and what their goals are. And truth be told, their goals might change over time depending on whether or not they're able to sort out the issues that they're currently having. And so if you as an MSP or a CSP can provide this managed service, it obviously helps the end user clients tremendously because you're providing them the safeguard, you're providing them the reassurance that they need, and you're providing them efficiency as well as, you're bundling this with all the costs of everything, and it's super easy for end users. They simply might not have the manpower or the time to do this, and so outsourcing it to someone they're already buying their Microsoft licenses from is going to be super beneficial for them. So like I said before, if you need more information, you just simply select the Dropbox link in the bottom, and it will open the actual longer version of the value playbook. And so you can see it goes into more detail with what we reviewed about training, goes into more detail about the managed services here as well. So you can see the screenshots that I supplied about managed services. And then this is just an example health check report that TBSC provides for you to supply to your clients. And so with understanding the optimization score, now, of course, if you are already providing Smarter SaaS, you've already been debriefed on this, but essentially the goal is to get your clients to at least 95% efficiency, 95% usage with their licenses, because otherwise they're not utilizing what they're paying for and they're losing money in the process. But maybe money isn't the problem with your end users. Maybe what they want to focus on is actually using their licenses, or maybe they want to focus on joiners, movers, leavers, or maybe they want to focus on training. It really depends on each end user and what you kind of sit down and talk to them about and understand what their business goals. But ultimately, you can take this data and kind of twist it and turn it to showcase exactly what you need it to be in order to help your client in the future. So we do provide this in-depth analysis in the health check report. Of course, you can make it in your own colors, your own branding, all of that, whatever benefits you. And then we also offer the business impacts as well in these reports. And so this is another good thing that you can have for your managed service is you can just simply see where exactly your end user client needs the help the most. By showing this list to your end user client, you can show them what's high, what's medium, and what's low priorities, exactly what you can do as a managed service to provide them the reassurance that they need, the guidance that they need in order to implement these changes. And like I said, this is all part of the longer version, the full version of the value playbook. Okay, so moving on, we can go ahead and discuss the licensing types. And so businesses often struggle to determine the appropriate licensing types for each user, and so this can result in unnecessary cost, decreased productivity if users are not equipped with the right tools for their job. So I would say if you're in the business of maybe trying to make sure everyone is better at communicating with one another, and maybe Microsoft Teams isn't working for you, perhaps switching them to Yammer would be more beneficial. And so you can track and see their Yammer usage and even train them on it and ensure that every license provides that Yammer for the end user client. That's just one example. It really depends on once again, what the business goals are and understanding the needs of each department. And so this might require some meetings, but overall, you can pretty much see what products are being used by what end user is assigned to them. And you can see the example screenshot here shows the recommended product. So it shows their current assigned product and then their recommended product simply based on using whatever apps they're using. And so we can help with kind of giving a highlight to what areas might be a focus in that regard. And so moving on, we can talk about security and the secure score. So with our secure score, you will get a detailed analysis, a detailed report of what actions need to be focused on, what is a high, low, medium priority. Of course, red meaning high, orange meaning medium, and yellow meaning low priorities, but all priorities nonetheless. It does do a product breakdown of what apps need the most priorities, and it shows the current secure score as well as issues that aren't being addressed. And so many businesses lack the expertise or resources to effectively secure their Microsoft 365 environment. So this leaves them vulnerable to cyber attacks and data breaches. Now, even though Microsoft does supply the secure score and this is accessible to administration of the 365 license, and end user clients have this information available to them, a lot of them aren't educated on what secure score is or even aware of them having secure score accessible to them. And so what you can do as a CSP MSP partner or one of our partners is to essentially educate them on secure score, and you can use our health check in order to help them see where they're struggling within the business. And you'd find that a lot of these businesses don't even have multi-factor authentication implemented, and this is extremely dangerous, especially if it's somebody in an admin role who doesn't have multi-factor authentication. I mean, this is the first line of defense in order to secure your logins. So if for whatever reason your passwords were compromised, now these hackers and attackers have access to company data because multi-factor authentication wasn't in effect. And so that's just like one of the many things that we come to find is not being implemented in these business security strategies that could be an easy fix to a problem that could occur. And so once again, if you need to see a full version of that, simply click the Dropbox link in the corner and you'll get more access to that. Now, we do help with backup and recovery as well, and so this could be something you focus on with your value-added services. So many organizations accumulate unused subscriptions to cloud-based solutions like Smarter SaaS, which can lead to unnecessary costs and security risks. So this happens when subscriptions are assigned to employees who have left the organization or teams that no longer require access to the software. And so to address this problem, organizations should implement processes to recycle unused subscriptions, and provide a management life cycle to the joiners, movers, leavers process. And of course, this involves regularly reviewing information, identifying unused subscriptions, etc. And so you and your end user clients can determine how often you do these regular reviews, but I would say at least once every month would be pretty critical, maybe once every 30 days, just to kind of test and see where the business is at and compare it to where it was and see if it's on its way to reaching goals. But we can certainly help with this information by understanding the paid subscriber list count. And so we can provide a list of all current subscribers and what licenses they're assigned to and what they're paying each month for that. And then you can use that paid subscriber list and maybe compare it to what's currently available with HR, updated HR documents, and see who's here, who's not here, etc. And offer some sort of backup and recovery for that. So with Smarter SaaS, we can also assist with migration and integration. Now, this isn't a major one that we've worked with, but it's still available. So if you're a partner company and you're having an end user client interested in migrating their services, we can, of course, help with that. So with organizations, they often face challenges when migrating. So they need to integrate existing applications and data with a new platform. So this can be complex and time consuming if not correctly, and this can lead to data loss, downtime, and negative impact on productivity. And so the way we can help with migrating maybe to Microsoft 365 is to help transition using smarter SaaS tools and technology. So this includes covering all aspects of the migration process from planning to execution. And so, like I said, we can help with that, and our value playbook goes into more detail. So we can assist with obviously taking the data that we have, who's using what, helping them migrate over. Maybe they're just using on-premise software and they want to switch to the cloud. Like I said, this might not be a commonplace now since everyone's pretty much switched, especially over COVID. But for instance, if somebody's trying to migrate their Microsoft 365 on-premise to the cloud, this would be a good solution for them with Smarter SaaS. We also offer compliance as well. And so this is highly important if maybe this is a large business with a lot of moving pieces and it's difficult to manage. And so companies may face challenges related to compliance and governance. And so this includes that data is stored and managed in compliance regulations, industry standards, but it also means who's installed where, using what. And so typically with Microsoft 365, that means that you can only have up to 5 devices installed. So yes, usually 5 devices that have Microsoft 365 installed. And so an example screenshot, we showcase that these are end users who have over installed. So that means they're on over 5 devices. And so that means they're no longer in compliance. And if Microsoft would do an audit, it might cause issues like higher cost, etc. And so we do have the joiners, movers, leavers process as well, which I've covered a lot within this value-added service. I've used it as an example many times. So if you need to review, simply just look over the in detail analysis that we have on our value playbook. And so we also have NCE renewals as well. And so this might be something that you're currently dealing with, especially because now Microsoft has increased its prices again. And so renewing contracts might not be as smooth as it was before. And so organizations might struggle to manage their enterprise agreements. They might struggle to understand their licenses or do these renewals, and they don't really understand the legalities of it, the finances of it, whatever. So with Smarter SaaS, we help provide the NCE renewal leverage to help understand these EA agreements. So this includes identifying unused licenses, and with Smarter Secure, it helps ensure clients are in compliance with the licensing requirements with Microsoft 365. So once again, just select the link in the bottom to get full detail information about that. With SharePoint Sprawl and with SharePoint Sprawl, it's basically the same thing as well. Once again, there's an issue with SharePoint. People don't exactly know where things are being stored. And so what you can do is show them what's being stored where and ensure that they are aware of where their data is located in order to help remain compliant with any data or privacy regulations, etc. So our value playbook is really long and intricate, and I advise that if you would like to learn more, of course, download this information and read through it on your own. But we can always review this with you and supply information on how you can add value-added services to your clients. As you can see here, just more detailed example of the joiners, movers, leavers process. It provides the measurements. The NCE renewals, like I've discussed, provides the method and the measurements as well. So you just simply open this up and to find out more, but I'm more than happy to jump on a call to explain better exactly what this process is. So I do want to thank you for your time. I know today's call was a bit longer than expected, but I will be uploading this onto YouTube for you to reference later. Once again, if you need to ever get in contact with me to learn more information about our value-added services, please email me info@businesssoftwarecenter.com. All right, thank you so much for joining me on today's call, and I will go ahead and end it here. Take care.